Good afternoon, preppers. Welcome to Goshen Prepping. Listen, we're going to jump right to it. We're going to make it very clear. There is a cover-up going on right now, covering up the train crash and derailment and all the chemicals and everything going on in Ohio. And the cover-up goes pretty deep for the fact that what we're seeing, instead of actually news agencies talking about what's happening there, this amazing catastrophe, instead we're seeing things like a cylindrical UFO in Canada and an octagonal UFO in Michigan. We even had fighter jets go over our house the other day, which is actually something we have never seen here before. But think about this. Let's put this in perspective. When the Chinese balloon came over from Alaska, then into Montana and the whole country, Washington, the United States, Biden was seriously embarrassed because of this, because he's a weak man. He did nothing to take care of this. And I could easily see them spinning this to make it look like, well, he's obviously being very strong now because he's shooting down all these mysterious balloons or UFOs or whatever you want to call them without a shred of evidence. No evidence at all. Okay, it's completely gone. And because of this, honestly, in my opinion, he still looks weak because he's simply covering it up. But the news agencies are like, no, look at this. He's actually taking care of the United States. He's taking care of this country. But why would you spin it with these balloons? I mean, obviously it's already a hot topic because it's simple. If we actually showed a balloon, that takes the mystery out of it. The news agencies don't talk about it anymore. So instead, let's go ahead and spin it as a mystery. And people love mysteries. What is this? And everybody's talking about this. UFOs in the United States. Are they balloons? Are they actually aliens? All these things happening. But again, let's go ahead and put perspective where it is, because don't be deceived by their deception, making you think that this is really about balloons. It's not. It is them trying to cover up this massive, horrible train wreck in Ohio. Let's look at our first article. Ohio train derailment contaminated the Ohio River with toxic chemicals. And this is just the beginning, by the way. The Ohio River, which serves somewhere around 10% of the U.S. population, has become contaminated with several chemicals due to the chemicals from the train derailment in Ohio. Long story short, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency sent a letter saying there were all kinds of chemicals in those rail cars that were breached and or on fire. Look at this article real quick. Sil Caggiano, a hazardous materials specialist on the dangerous chemicals on board the train, said, "We basically nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open." This is huge. This is massive. And honestly, Chernobyl is a very focal area. This could be far worse than Chernobyl for the fact that who knows how far and how long these chemicals will seep through, making groundwater aquifers, people's drinking water, completely undrinkable. So why is there a cover-up? Check this out. I don't know if you saw this. A News Nation reporter was arrested during a news conference after Ohio law enforcement told him to stop his live broadcast. And we don't have to go through the whole video by any means, but he was a reporter. And throughout this whole video, he just kept yelling, "I'm just doing my job. I'm just reporting this whole incident." And since he was recording it, they detained him, they arrested him, and off he went to jail. The arrest, the network says, happened after he was told to stop speaking during the governor's remarks. No journalist expects to be arrested when you're doing your job. And I think that's really important that it doesn't happen in our country. Well said. And when the officers took him out to the car to send him off to jail, there was all kinds of other reporters saying this is not supposed to be happening like this. But of course, the officers were completely quiet about this. He's facing charges of criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. We never want to lose the sight of the fact that Evan was in Ohio to provide up-to-the-minute reporting about a tragic train accident that has impacted thousands of lives. Evan handled this unfortunate situation with true professionalism, and we appreciate his commitment as a journalist whose goal is to report stories that are fair and unbiased. So in reality, this is nothing new. The government doing what they can, try to stifle things and snuff out stories. But for you and I, this is a great lesson for preparedness, because at Goshen Prepping, we want to be able to prepare for all these contingencies. Now, one of the things I talk about all the time on the channel is don't bug out unless your life depends on it. In this situation, these people, even they actually, let's say somebody lived on a farm nearby and they're like, oh, you know what, I'm never going to bug out. I have everything I need here, and they're not near a city. They're not worried about, riots and things coming in. They're going to have to bug out. So at the very least, you need to actually have some things ready, even like a tub full of supplies, whatever you actually need to do, and a checklist to know exactly what to grab in those situations. Because when there's a massive, horrible chemical train derailment, or fill in the blank of what possibly could happen, you may have to bug out too. It's something I don't want to think about, but it is definitely reality, the way things are going in this country. Anything on this you know about too, by all means, put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.